Well, it's a great privilege to be with all of you here tonight, and obviously we're all motivated to make a real change in the state of Massachusetts. And what a great setting, the Wamsutta Club. In fact, I was just speaking with Colonel Mustard back there in the conservatory, and this is a very fitting setting. Bedford is a great city. You talk about the diversity. One block away, you can marry a man, and the next block you can find a church that will condemn you for doing so. You have people right here who can help get the next senator into office, and then you have a block away people who would take that money from anybody who's carrying it as soon as we get out of here. So it's a fantastic city. And all kidding aside, I moved down here because of the community. You people convinced me to move my family down here. I grew up in Brockton. I'm from a long line of South Boston Democrats. But I'm sorry to say, I'm happy to say I don't have their mental illness. And I became a conservative based on what I saw in Massachusetts, because so much is wrong. I guess you have to see what's wrong in order to know what's right, maybe. But there's an awful lot wrong in Massachusetts, and it starts from the top. We have a junior senator, senior citizen, who has been in so long, but nobody really notices how long John Kerry's been in office, because Ted Kennedy's been in for most of my adult life and most of my childhood life. He's been around. And not a lot of great things have happened, especially for us down here on the South Coast. Some things have happened to benefit Boston and some pockets just outside of Boston. We don't have the coalition. We don't have great leadership in the representation we have down here. I think it's safe to say that. Show me what has been accomplished down here. And I'm not going to blame the municipal leaders. I'm talking about the state delegation. Nobody's really lifted a finger to help out down here. And we're outnumbered. And I think that with that being said, the only time US senators, congressmen come down here is for the photo op. It's overlooked. We've helped to finance quite a bit of what's going on that's benefited every other section of the state. But we have not ever reaped any of the benefits of it. Starting with the transit system, and then look around, and I'm sure you can come up with 50 things by the time you even leave New Bedford. Jeff Beatty, I think, is a great contrast, and we finally have a candidate that we can look up to. I don't like the idea that a U.S. senator is somebody that I don't think is a better man than me. I don't think John Kerry and Ted Kennedy are very honorable men. And if I did, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be working. And we all have to do something different this year. We all have to try to find a way to win. And the only way you're going to do that is by dedicating a portion of your week to this cause. And not just you, but you've got to grab 2 or 3 people each and convince them that it's time to actually do something. The Democrats down here have, let's face it, they have a good machine down here. They have a good machine in Massachusetts, mostly because they're the mindset, what's in it for me. I think I look around this room, and hopefully this is a group of people that think, what's the right thing for the state, what's the right thing for the country, not what's the right thing for me. And although the motivation may not be as strong, because obviously, the Democrats can fill in like this in 15 minutes because people know that there's something in it for them. Hackarama, Massachusetts, as it's known. But we do have a guy who has a tremendous contrast to the decisions. Jeff Beatty will show you that he's not John Kerry by any stretch of the imagination. John Kerry's wisdom, question it at every turn. He's backing Barack Obama based on what I don't know. And I think that's going to help Jeff Beatty when the elections get to November, because I think Massachusetts is going to support John McCain. I think as we go on week to week, we can see that Barack Obama is becoming a weaker candidate, and it may be too late for Hillary Clinton. Sorry to invoke these names. It may be too late for her to overcome the deficit that she has. So it looks like it will be McCain versus Obama, and that's probably a good thing for Jeff Beatty, because there are people who cross for John McCain, and there's certainly going to be people who admire Jeff once they know who he is. The only thing Jeff has to do, though, is he has to raise enough money and get enough attention so that enough people in Massachusetts know he's out there. And I guarantee you, when they see Jeff's credentials, they'll cross the line. the unaffiliated voters will support Jeff, and certainly the Republican base can get excited about having such a great candidate. We have not had a great candidate, and we have an opportunity to really be the giant slayer here. And Jeff has focused on the South Coast. I know he's been all over the state, but I think he sees something special down here on the South Coast. And everybody in here is a great part of that. So without taking too much time, I want to introduce, ladies and gentlemen, your next US Senator Jeff Beatty.
Thank you very much. Whenever I get a microphone like this, I'm tempted to break into some sort of karaoke. I'll spare you that tonight. I do appreciate the opportunity to come again down to New Bedford and to the South Coast and talk to you, because this has been one of the places in the Commonwealth, perhaps more than any other, that has been neglected. And when I look at the leadership in this Commonwealth over the past 24 years, there are 5 people that we have in major leadership roles, right? We have a governor, we have a speaker, we have a president of the Senate, and we have 2 senators. These are our top 5 officials. Well, a lot of those people change out, but there's been a few constants in there. And we have got to hold some of those leaders responsible for where we are. They have neglected us. And certainly this part of the Commonwealth has been neglected, probably more than any other. Although John Kerry's doing his best to neglect other components just as much as he's neglecting you down here. Many of you know me. I want to talk to you a little bit about the background for those that don't. Then I want to talk about some issues. Then I want to finish up by telling you where we are in this campaign, how we're going to win this campaign, because when you walk out of here tonight, I want you to feel really good for the first time in a long time that we're going to be able to make some history in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts by replacing John Kerry with one of us. So hang in there, help is on the way. Background. This election is going to be about relevant experience and leadership. That's what it's going to be about. You know, and let me talk to you about those 2 things and where I differ from John Kerry. First of all, realize this. There are 4 people in this Senate race. 4 people. Myself and 3 others. A couple of Republicans, a couple of Democrats. But we want to start talking about this race in that there are 4 people in the race. What does that do? It gives us an opportunity at this. I'm going to get around in front of this thing because I don't think it would stop a bullet anyhow. It gives us an opportunity right now to start running the general election race, right? If we talk about the 4 people that are in this race, and we want people not just to make comparisons in the primary phase, we want people starting right now to make comparisons, and am I doing okay on feedback here?
Yes.
Make comparisons that are going to be valid in the general election phase. So that's why when you talk to people about it, feel free to mention, you know, there's 4 people in the Senate race. You got Kerry, you got Riley, and you've got Oganowski and Beatty. That's the last time I'm going to mention any of my, well, I'll probably mention Kerry's name again. But that's the last time I'll mention some of the other individuals' names. Now, by way of background, I've dedicated 30 plus years of my life to the citizens of this nation and the citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Whether it's been as an Army officer, where I had the great honor to serve in the Delta Force and participate in the rescue of several hundred Americans being held in Grenada, whether it was as a special agent of the FBI, advising the FBI's National Hostage Rescue Team, whether it's been as a CIA counterterrorism center officer with half a dozen years in Europe and the Middle East, where I've run operations against terrorists, successful operations, where we've worked against the weapons of mass destruction target, or whether we're talking about the dozen plus years of founding your own business, having employees, making payroll, having people count on you to get their kids into college, make their house payment. These are the relevant experiences.